Welcome to Reporters on France 24, featuring the best reports from our correspondents all around the world. Now, today we are going to be taking you to a city with some of the most expensive real estate in the world. It's not Manhattan, it's not Dubai, but Lagos in Nigeria. Now, the combination of a rapidly expanding population and a new drive by authorities to clean up the city is not good news for everyone. One fishing community at the heart of Lagos is earmarked for demolition. The wrecking equipment has already moved in, leaving a population fearing for their traditional way of life. One person has already lost his life in the battle for Makoko. Nicolas Germain and Peggy Bruguière went to meet some of the locals facing a fight for their futures.
The fishing community of Makoko has been in the heart of Lagos for 2 centuries, but it's now under threat. Some parts have already been demolished. In Africa's biggest city, the price of real estate in the business district is now higher than in Manhattan. No one knows the exact figure, but it's estimated some 100,000 people live in Makoko, perched on the lagoon. Here, everything from transport to shopping takes place on water.
Hey you, how much for the peanuts?
It's like a supermarket on water. Yeah. They're very good. Hello.
Okay, bye.
First stop, the petrol station.
Hey.
Fishing is the main activity here, and the men usually start their day at 6 in the morning. They pass under Africa's longest bridge and cast their nets in the lagoon.
When we heard that the governor wanted to destroy Makoko, we didn't believe it at first. So when we saw the authorities starting to demolish some houses, we were really shocked. If they destroy them, where will we go? We're very afraid that the government will come back because those who lost their houses have nowhere to go now. We'd rather die than have them come back.
Some 20 million people live in Lagos, the country's financial centre and one of Africa's biggest ports. The city has a 7% economic growth rate. Every year, the equivalent of a town like Boston adds itself to the metropolis. The new governor of Lagos State, Babatunde Fashola, has decided to clean up this hub. He says he wants to make it more beautiful. He's trying to ban street sellers and beggars and wants to reduce traffic jams. Fashola is the most powerful man in Lagos. He believes Makoko should be moved elsewhere.
Ultimately, where they are is even not sustainable. It wasn't designed for the business that they have to do. So, in the long run, they will seek sustainability. They can't pass on that business, as it were, in a way that it can grow.
Here in southern Lagos, sand dredging takes place on a massive scale. The aim is to build an ultra-modern district like Dubai. The project is called Eco-Atlantic. 6 billion euros have been invested in it. Much of the construction is done by Chinese companies. It should be completed within 15 years.
Much of Victoria Island and Ikoyi, which was largely a residential area, has been under pressure for businesses to set up. people are therefore living and working in an environment that was not designed to be a business center. Eco Atlantic will help move all of the financial services into a financial district in the center and still accommodate residential needs as well as other business needs, malls, conference centers, and so on and so forth.
Back in Makoko, the men hand over their catch to the women, who sell it on different markets across Lagos. These small boats are the closest things to a shopping mall here.
This whole basket costs €10.
School is we start with them.
Some days I make good money, others less so.
There are several shipyards in Makoko. This is one of the main ones.
Our customers don't only come from Makoko, they also come from Benin and from other Nigerian states, because people recognize our skills.
Here, the smallest boat costs €200.
You see, your boat is solid. The water doesn't get inside. So now give us the rest of the money.
Some parts of Makoko are now also on the banks of the Lagoon. In all, 13 chiefs called ballets rule the community. They play the role of judges when there is a dispute, like here about an unpaid debt. These men are highly respected.
School is essential. Parents, bring your children to school so they can later become doctors or governors. If our parents had gone to school, today they would be in power and they would improve our living conditions.
To try and make life better here, the chiefs regularly meet people like Dinma. She's a member of the local NGO Serac, which campaigns against forced evictions. The NGO says that in recent months, there have been demolitions in many different areas of the city.
We have the Makoko community, we have the Badia community, and many more like that. And the issue really goes deep, because the Lagos State government always serves, eviction notices to these communities. But the problem, it's very important to think about the root cause of this problem, which is the problem of security of tenure and land issues as well.
Serac says the authorities have already demolished the homes of 30,000 people in Makoko.
Development is not necessarily about building glass houses and, all of this. It's really about the people. If you take them away from where they are right now, if you demolish their structures, they're only going to move to somewhere else and find somewhere to live. So it's best for you to just find a way to address the issue once and for all.
There's no running water in Makoko, but generators enable the people here to enjoy the same pastimes as other Lagos residents.
We support different teams. Some people here are for Chelsea, others for Manchester, Arsenal, Marseille, PSG, and so on.
Like this young man, many francophones from neighbouring Benin have settled in Makoko. There are no tensions as they come from the same ethnic group, the Iguns, as the Nigerians who live here. Residents here say they are proud of their neighbourhood.
If they want to demolish our houses, where will we go? We'll never leave here.
The demolition of homes here started last July, when the authorities came with machetes. After 6 days, it was suspended, following a deadly incident with the police.
This response article was shot dead. This point. He was shot dead there.
Where was the police?
The policeman is there. why they are demolishing the houses, and the policeman is there, and Timothy has were in the boat talking to them that they should take it easy with them. That's it. And that is where the policeman just cocked his gun, just shot him dead. Look at this whole community. We have more than 7 or 8 communities here. The guy just came give them 72 hours notice to evacuate everything. The first day they came, he just shot gun up. Pow.
Timothy was one of the leaders of Makoko. His death shocked the whole community. Now his brother looks after his family.
After Timothy died, the authorities stopped destroying our houses. You know, I think that if Timothy hadn't died, the state would have destroyed everything here.
To prevent further destructions, the community has built a new sustainable school on top of 250 plastic barrels. Designed by Nigerian architect Kunle Adeyemi, it's a 10-meter high prototype. Noah teaches there, but the authorities say the school was erected without permission.
They should come in and reason with us, and probably, if it's time for vote, we do votes. They collect our votes, and to get their position, they get there, they're trying to remove us. That's not the way to do it. They want to build hotels, beautiful things, this and that. Many good things here, and they will demolish everybody, push everybody away, and use it for their own self, sell it for their big men, rich men. 4 and 4, 16 minus 4. 12. Come on. You didn't get it right, man. Verb, yes, come forth. Wow, kafa.
Do you think tourism would work here?
Wow. Tourism will really work here. They can turn this place to Nigeria Venice or Africa Venice. Yes. Let's go from Lagos, please. 1, 2, 3, go.
It's with projects like this new floating school that the community hopes to persuade the authorities to leave Makoko, where it has been for the last 200 years.
Well, Nicolas Germain joins me here in the studio. Thanks very much for your report. Now, tell us first off, why has there been such a population explosion in Lagos, and what are the authorities planning for the city?
Well, in Lagos right now, you have a lot of jobs being created. You have a 7% economic growth rate in the Lagos state. That means that it's also one of the biggest ports in Africa. It's a major hub, a financial centre in the sub-region. We met a lot of Nigerians who'd been living in New York and London who see this economic growth rate and who decide to come back and open businesses in Lagos. Also, among these 20 million people, you have a lot of small jobs, street sellers. We see that the governor, Fashola, he wants to push away these street sellers from the city centre, push them towards the outskirts. One of his other projects is to create a kind of mini Dubai in the centre of Lagos called Eco Atlantic, which could house 250,000 people.
So certainly a degree of success and development in Lagos, but of course a different situation if you're in Makoko. What's the situation there right now? Has Timothy's death changed things, stopped the demolitions?
Yes, Timothy's death happened in July last year. Since then, there have been no more demolitions. When he died, there had been, at the time, 30,000 homes demolished, according to CERAC, the NGO, which helps the population. What's happening right now is that the demolitions have been suspended, and CERAC, the NGO, is trying to put forward some projects, some initiatives, like this floating school that you see in the report, to try and tell the governor, look, we have some brilliant ideas. Let us leave this community here, this fishing community, which has been here for 2 centuries.
And tell us, do we know what the future holds for Makoko's residents? Are they still going to be moved out? Are they going to be offered any compensation if that happens?
Well, what the governor has suggested is he's told them you can move to another area. But what they're saying is that this other area is far from the sea, far from the lagoon, and that all they know is fishing activities, and therefore they refuse to leave. And what the NGO Serac is saying is that these people, they've been here for 2 centuries. Instead of moving them away, the governor should just try and improve their living conditions, improve their water and electricity access.
Okay, very interesting situation, one I'm sure we'll be following here on France 24. Thanks very much, Nicolas Germain there, with his report on Makoko in Lagos in Nigeria. And that wraps up this edition of Reporters. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you soon here on France 24.